Okay, so let's take a look at this new set of essays you sent us. Okay, you've got two charts. Let's see what you wrote. The line graph, if that's the right term for this, illustrates the amount of income in $billion in the special trade zone members. Well, should probably be in the special trade zone member states. That would be more accurate. Between 1990 and 2000, while the pie chart shows the amount of exports in 9 countries. The amount. Okay, yeah. In 9 countries in 2000. All right, that's fine. Overall, the line graph, again, shows that the number of income. How about just the income generally increased? Because we don't say the number of income. Or we could say the income amount. That would kind of be okay. But usually we just say that income generally increased during the time period. In the pie chart, Bensland and Jamesland had the highest number of exports, whilst Joland and Peterland had the lowest. All right, that's fine. Okay. As for the line chart, the income was approximately, careful here, 120,000 billions between 1990 and 1991, increased by about, what number is this? That's not a number, so be careful. During the next year, and plateaued between 1992 and 1993. Let's see. Okay. From 1993 to 97, the income, singular, rose dramatically up to almost 175,000 billion without the S, and remained quite stable until, okay, that's fine, until 2000. All right, that's fine. As for the pie chart, Bensland, Jamesland, and Anderland have the highest number of share exports. That's an awkward expression, share exports. Yeah, they don't really mean that. They mean market share. And then, all right. Let's see. All right. So as for the pie chart, Bensland, Jamesland, and Anderland had the highest number of exports, you could have said here, with 90,000, 89, 75 respectively. Timsland, Herbertland, and Fredland all approximately, careful with this word, 55,000 exports during the years. It's market share exports. So calling it just share exports sounds awkward. Okay. Let's see. This is what I was looking for. Good. Darrenland represented almost half of Bensland's exports, while Joland and Peterland accounted for just over 1/9 of it. That's what I was hoping you would do. I was hoping you would make some sort of comparison here, rather than just being like, this had the most, this had the second most, this was. So make some comparisons. You've got 9 different figures here. You should be able to say something meaningful about them. Okay, so one thing about this, you said they all have approximately 55,000. You were talking about Timsland, which is 56, okay, and then Herbertland, which is blue, which is 51. And then what else did you say? Let me just double check here. Your figures. Give me a second. Darren's Land as well. Okay, no, you didn't. All right, so that's fair enough. You could have been a little more accurate here. You said they all had approximately 55,000. And yeah, that's true for sure for these two, but not 100% for this, okay? So you could have used a more approximate figure. Alternatively, you could have lumped all 4 of them together, saying that they had between 46 and 56,000. I mean, it was fine. It was just this was a little inaccurate as far as I was concerned. And then the rest of it was fine. Now, as for those 2 lowest figures, there were a lot of things you could have said here without going into this issue of, using fractions and so forth. You could have just said that there was a remarkable difference between those middle 4 and then the lowest figures on the pie chart, with X and Y being this and this together, or something like that. So what you did is fine. I'm just making other suggestions as well. Okay, it was good overall. So let's take a look at your task 2. Okay, this is the one about computer education. Let's see what you wrote. Experts, you don't need that comma. So experts throughout both the developing and developed world have been analyzing the necessity to include computing at school to ensure that students learn how to use those devices. I personally believe that having a computing-based education is beneficial for children, even if those skills can be developed at home. This essay will discuss both views by using examples from an Oxford University study and a French governmental study to demonstrate points and prove arguments. All right, fine. Firstly, nowadays people are using computers and a wide range of software every day in most jobs. Get rid of the. Learning how to use them at school ensures, with an S, that students have that knowledge and are job ready at the end of their education. A recent Oxford University study showed that students, with an S, who had most of their courses delivered on computer feel more confident at work than others. Therefore, schools should teach students how to use specific software programs that they could not learn on their own. Okay, fine. Let's see. So here you're talking about why they should. Let's see what you said here. Secondly, most children, not most of the children, there's a difference in meaning. So most children have access to a computer or iPad at home and use it regularly. This exposure will probably allow children to learn by themselves how to use general functions of the device. A French governmental study reveals that 94% of children aged from 4 years old and over spend, on average, not in, 2 hours a day on a computer, and by the age of 6 were able to do so on their own. As a result, most children are using devices on a daily basis and soon know how to use them without help. All right, let's talk about this in 1 minute. From the arguments and examples provided, it can be concluded that learning how to use specific programs at school is beneficial for the students. However, if the educational institutions are only teaching the basic computing, most students would probably have most students would probably already have that knowledge. Okay, my concern here is with this paragraph, okay? Let's see. Now, there were a couple of things that happened here. First of all, talking about this paragraph, it didn't really support the side that you said it was going to support. Supposedly, this side was supposed to be talking about how you don't need to have computing at school because we already learn these things. And while you talked about it, I do think that you could have developed this a little more. You said general functions, all right? You said that 94% of kids know how to do this and on their own. So sure, kids know how to use general functions, but you don't really go into any detail about what those general functions are. So what are you trying to tell us? Like Microsoft Word is something that they learn how to use on their own? I really just wanted a little more development on this paragraph, okay? Now, another thing that I want to discuss here is the order of your paragraphs. This is the side that you supposedly support. And since it is, this should have gone second, and this side, which you didn't really support, should have gone first. So it should be introduction, then this, then your conclusion. All right, because we always put the side that we don't support first. Now, apart from that, your firstly and your secondly felt really inaccurate. Why? Because you were talking about two opposite sides of the argument. So firstly and secondly work only if you are discussing the same argument. But when you're switching sides like this, it should be something more like on the one hand or on the other hand, all right? So using this combination. But this here was inaccurate to use like that. Let's see. So those are the biggest problems here. It was essentially coherence and cohesion and to some extent task achievement, because I really do think you could have said a little bit more about all of these. You could have gone into a little more detail. You were okay with your word count as this was about 300 words, so that's fine. It's the other areas that I really would have liked you to fix a little, okay? So let's see, do you have another essay? Okay, it looks like the rest of your essays are just your corrected essays, so nice job, but do take note of some of the feedback in this video correction so that you can improve with the remaining essays you have left in this pack, okay? I'll be looking forward to seeing what you write next. Good luck.